Hey guys, David here. Thought I'd make a short video on the how to find arrowheads and other Indian artifacts. And I know I have a lot of veteran hunters here that will be watching this video, so go ahead and feel free to leave any input based on what information I provide. I will start off basically talking about the 5 periods throughout North American history of human habitation, and then I'll get into the details of how to find and where to find artifacts. So let's begin. Have you ever found an arrowhead and wondered who made it, or how long it has been since another human has touched the ancient artifact? I know I have, and this is one reason why I enjoy arrowhead hunting. The sport of finding these relics and gathering information about them is a hobby that I have enjoyed doing since 2009. I myself have purchased books on the subject and have gained a good sum of knowledge learning about the artifacts I find. So, in today's short presentation, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the history of arrowheads, what these relics are made of, and where to find these artifacts. At the end of my presentation, I will also share some pictures of some of my best finds, beginning since in 2009. My first subject will cover the history of arrowheads in North America, which spans over a period of 11,000 years. It's highly debated on how old or how far back human habitation really goes, but the general age is 11 to 12,000 years. I will break this long period of time into 5 segments based on the model of modern archaeology and give one arrowhead example from each period. According to the official Overstreet Identification and Price Guide to Indian Arrowheads 11th edition by Robert M. Overstreet, there are 5 periods that break up the 11,000 plus year history of human habitation in North America. These periods are the following: Paleo, Archaic, Woodland, Mississippian, and Historic. There are of course some transitional phases between Paleo and Archaic and Woodland, and it's all blended together, but these are the generally most 5 accepted periods in this period of human activity. So we can begin with the Paleo period, which began approximately 11,500 years ago and ended approximately 10,000 years ago, or BP, before present. There's some sites that date it back to 15,000, but the Overstreet, based on Missouri, it leaves a period around 11,500 years ago. This is the oldest period, and the classic find from this period is a Clovis. Note the flute along each of the example of arrowheads I provide in this slide. The next period will be the Archaic period, which begins right after the Archaic, about 10,000 years ago, and ends approximately 3,000 years ago. This is the longest period with the large variety of arrowhead types. And the classic find here is the Etley. They're pretty cool arrowheads, if you ask me. The next one will be the Woodland period, beginning after the Archaic, about 3,000 years ago, and ending 1,300 years ago. There are many types of arrowheads, and diversity of arrowhead types is seen locally. The classic arrowhead type is the Apple Creek. Pretty cool arrowhead too. The next period is the Mississippian period, beginning 1,300 and ending right before contact. This is the last period before European contact, and the overall size of arrowhead shrank, the quality wasn't the greatest, and the arrowhead type was the bird point. It's a general name, there's just too many to name. You got like sequoia and a lot of different kinds. And then the last period is the Historic period. This is when the Europeans like Columbus and the Spanish conquistadors came over, and arrowhead production either slowed or ceased or just completely changed. There's not a whole lot of information from this period on arrowhead types. So these 5 periods essentially section off the long span of time in which arrowheads have been made. These periods help to identify and place a general age on any artifact that may be found. Now that we all have a basic view of the time span arrowheads are found in, I can now lead the path to the next point: what arrowheads are made of. According to arrowheadology.com, Most arrowheads found in Missouri are 9 out of 10 times going to be made out of two materials. These materials are known as flint and chert. Flint is a hard, sedimentary, cryptocrystalline form of the mineral quartz, categorized as a variety of chert. Chert is a fine-grained, silica-rich, microcrystalline, cryptocrystalline, or microfibro-sedimentary rock that may contain small fossils. These fancy definitions mean that flint and chert are rocks with brittle but uniform structure. Both are glassy in composition. They are easy to manipulate and have predictable breaking patterns. This is evident in the two arrowheads pictured on the screen. Note the streamlined shape of the arrowheads and the ripples that uniformly run the length on each projectile point. I'm sure these two are recreations. Understanding both the history of arrowheads and what these relics are made of, I feel confident that I can now delve in on the topic of where one can find these artifacts. There are 3 places that are easy to find arrowheads, and these places are creeks, caves, and plowed fields. According to arrowheadology.com, the use of maps such as Google Maps or topographical maps are both good ways to scout out waterways or places of cultivation to begin a hunt. Caves are often found along waterways. Also, you can use overhangs, which are similar to caves. Creeks, we can begin with creeks. Creeks are one of the best places for one to go when hunting for arrowheads. People need water to survive, and creeks provided the basic life needs to ancient man, and their tools can be scattered on the creek bed. The best times to look in creeks is shortly after a good rain shower. The rush of water will turn the creek bed, exposing artifacts that were out of view before. Just be sure to allow the water levels to drop enough to see the creek bed clearly. While in the creek, you should always keep your eyes peeled for any sign of past human activity. Look for things like flint chips. These chips are rarely formed in nature and are often a good sign that arrowheads are to be found. The rock bars and banks are the best places to look and can often have arrowheads lying right on the top. Interesting. Creeks they're one of the best places to look for a beginner, but competition can be stiff, so you must get there before other artifact hunters. Not to worry though, there's other places to hunt. We have caves. Caves, I guess you could start off as a beginner in a cave, but you need some specialized tools such as a sifter, shovel, rake, and you need a good eye to find what you're looking for. But caves are often a place of common historic value based on past human cultures. You always want to dig to the cave floor, and if you see the following signs, you're in a good spot. Look for things like flint chip, bones, shells, pottery shards, and arrowheads. Caves provide a good place that will preserve things like bones and shells, where an open campsite, these things will decay and you won't find them several thousand years later. Caves are a good place to go if you're looking for signs of past human habitation. And finally, we have plowed fields. This leads me to my last and final point of the presentation, and it will cover over plowed fields. Plowed fields are often the best place for a beginning arrowhead hunter to look because the flint or chert is contrasted by the brown earth, making it easy to spot arrowheads. Tractors and farm equipment do all the work of digging up the artifacts, often plowing right over an entire village at the top of a hill or something like that in the field. And the village is really just inches below the soil. The tractors will pull the artifacts up and scatter them. Looking on the highest point of a field is your best bet to find artifacts, because these are the places where Indians camped, allowing water to drain from their encampment and giving them a vantage point. If one does find a good field, allow for a good rain to fall, because this will help wash all the dirt off the artifacts and expose them right in plain sight. Overall, creeks, caves, and fields are great places to search for arrowheads, and just remember to keep your eyes on the ground. And in conclusion, I have discussed about a great wealth of information regarding the history of arrowheads, ranging through the 5 periods from Paleo to Historic, what 2 main materials these relics are made of, and where to find these relics. This is only a glimpse into the world of artifact hunting, and I know this has impacted my life for years to come, because it will be a lifelong hobby that I will enjoy and attempt to pass on to others. I hope in some strange and unsettling way that I have given you all an interest into the hobby that I enjoy, and I thank you for your time. But before I end, I'd like to share with you a few artifacts that I've personally found myself. And these are all found in St. Louis, Missouri, or Champion City, Missouri. Now we got some bird points, Mississippian period. These were found at my farm in Champion City. We have a Dixon, woodland period. It's really nice. It's got a nicely ground base. It's really thin. This was found on a trail about a mile from our property, on my great uncle's property. It's in the same area, same river system, just about a mile away. We have an Etley. I bought this one from a friend last year. He had it in his book bag for weeks, and I'm like, I'll go ahead and just buy it from you, man. Give him 20 bucks for it. It's really nice. He said he found it in Dexter County, and his uncle or his grandpa's property, and they were out playing softball, and he said he saw it sticking up out of the ground. He picked it up. Next one is a rice side notch. This is from the woodland period. Found this in a creek at my farm, probably about 100 feet from the river tributary. We have a hempill, the archaic. This was my first arrowhead I found. It was found in the same creek as the rice side notch. Shows the diverse history of our area. We have a Kirk corner notched. It's archaic. Found this in St. Louis. A square knife. This was also found in St. Louis, a different creek. I'm not 100% sure on this one. I believe the sides of the base are ground. The bottom is slightly ground. And it looks like it's woodland flaking, but it matches the Hollenberg stem almost exactly. And then we have the Etley. This was found in St. Louis again. That's all really my best finds right now that I feel like putting on here. I do have others that I haven't added, but this is suffice enough. And here's my works site based on the information. You can probably buy the Overstreet book online on Amazon or from Borders or places like that. But I'd like to thank you guys for your time. Subscribe, and if you have any information that I may have gotten wrong, feel free to leave it in the comments. Thank you.